It's hard to imagine Vail without this chapel.
This is a chapel that serves our community in so many different ways. It's been the bastion of our community since 1969.
The church is really a place of centering. So this is the spiritual heart of our village and Vail Valley, really.
Many towns in Colorado that are missing a chapel or a church, those towns are missing a little bit of soul.
There are many local resort towns throughout Colorado where there's not a church, where there's not a chapel. But with a chapel here, we become a destination for recreation and recreation of soul and spirit and body.
I think that this chapel is something that is a huge foundational piece of this community. I know for a fact that many of my own congregants have homes here because of the existence of this chapel.
It was obvious to the founders of Vail, and one of their brilliances was they had a lot of foresight about what Vail could become, even in 1962.
The founders of Vail set this parcel aside. The Vail associates at that time donated the land to the group that was going to build a non-denominational church in Vail.
This is an old building. It was completed in 1969. Many buildings in our town since 1969 have undergone 2 or 3 or 4 transformations. So it's very important that we maintain the building, number one, and enhance it.
The purpose of this renovation is to update the chapel to a current condition that will be suitable and acceptable and welcoming for all people. And then to prepare the way for the next 50 years to continue that so that people will feel comfortable coming in for worship, coming in for weddings, coming in for concerts.
We have a very strong ethical obligation to our creek and our surrounding environment. By redoing the chapel and enhancing some of those lower areas, it just fits in with everything we're trying to do environmentally. And more importantly, being able to serve the community in a better way than we already do.
So the idea is that we're basically going to improve all of those outdoor spaces along the river and unify them with a path and site walls and really direct the use of them so that, you know, the poached paths go away. That's a great thing for Restore the Gore.
$10 million sounds like an extraordinary high number. So does every other construction project I've ever undertaken here in the Vail area. The sticker shock is unavoidable. But once you peel back the layers a little bit on this, there's a lot in that number.
Currently, there are many of those systems, these significant systems, that are at the end of their life cycle. The snow melt system has failed and is no longer operational. The mechanical system, it is not up to current standards. The roof is tired. Currently, it's a wood shake roof that is failing, and it doesn't have the wildfire mitigation that is required by code. These older structures need to be brought up to current standards. It's crucial that this one is upgraded. It is kind of one of the last iconic pieces of architecture in the village that have not been thoroughly and thoughtfully upgraded.
When you invest or donate to this chapel, it's not just the building that you're renovating, but you're really investing in the community and the whole spirit of caring for each other.
The Vail Interfaith Chapel is everybody. It's inclusive of everybody. We have 6 different congregations that currently use the chapel for their services, and there was 50,000 people that came through this chapel last year. So it serves everybody in our community.
So sharing this space with other congregations is always very welcoming. I've actually, at one time, I've helped one of the other congregations that is not my own faith. I've helped them lead services. They brought me in as a Jewish faith leader to help lead music in one of their worship services.
It's an essential part of every community. It helps people stay together and stick together. But this particular one is special because it brings people of different faiths together, and it is open for public events all the time.
It's been a place for a lot of AA meetings, for one thing. We've had all kinds of classes with first responders. For a long time, it was one of the few public buildings that was really available for all kinds of community use.
A lot of other congregations around the country could really benefit from using a model like we have here at the Vail Interfaith Chapel. Just the fact that we all exist in one space really helps to bring us together as a community, and really, I think, bridges a lot of the divides that many people may have with other faiths.
But again, it's not just about religion and faith here at the Vail Interfaith Chapel. We provide so many other community services. So I think without the chapel, the community doesn't exist as it does today.
I am so grateful to have this community here that we have, and I am incredibly optimistic that we'll be able to continue to thrive in the way that we have and to continue to provide a spiritual home for the people of Eagle County.
The investment in that chapel will be one of those things where we look back at many years from now and say, that was easily worth it, and maybe we should have spent more.
I think 30 years from now, there's going to be a brand new wave of people in Vail, as there is just about every 10 years, who are going to look at this chapel and go, they did this right in 2020. If nothing else happened good in that blessed year, this happened well, the chapel responded, and now 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, people are still coming here to worship because of what's being done right now. That's going to be the greatest impact.